absolutely amazing to be on the podium speaker to enrich and enthrall you with his travels and his expertise. I'm here with Malcolm Teasdale.
Hello there.
Nice to have you with us.
Very nice to be here too.
You come to us originally from the UK.
That's right, Coventry, England.
And then now you are a resident of Destin, Florida, that place.
That's right.
Well, I think many of our guests on both sides of the pond will be able to relate to that and to you. And you have such a myriad of interest and expertise, and we were kind of trying to cobble together exactly what all you were going to talk about, but today is going to be your first talk.
Yeah. Today I'm going to be talking about Providenciales. It's the main island of the Turks and Caicos. Many of us may have heard about the Turks and Caicos Islands, but many of us probably haven't been there yet. So in my estimation, and according to TripAdvisor, it's now rated the #1 beach in the world. So I'll be telling you a little bit about the place, a little bit about its history and things to do, and how to actually chill out.
That is something I think a lot of our guests are into doing. And you were talking just a little bit, whether we actually get to it is one of your talks, but an adventure you had at a monastery that was 10,000 feet up.
Yeah, I did this last year, and as part of my presentation, which will be one of the days on the cruise here called You're Never Too Old for Adventure. Last year I was fortunate enough to be able to go to the country of Bhutan and trek up to Tiger's Nest Monastery. Now, you may have heard about this place. Just Google it and you'll see this building on the edge of the precipitous cliff, and you can actually walk to this building. So I did that, and but there's more to Bhutan than that. Plus, I'm talking about other adventures any of us can take at any age.
Well, which I think is terrific, because we encourage our guests to get off the ship at these ports of call and really experience whether it's the history, the geology, the geography. There's so many more things to do than just lie on the beach.
Exactly, yes.
Very good. Now, all of Malcolm's talks will be on the sea days. We have 4 sea days here. Your first 2, I believe, will be in Celebrity Central, because that's right next to the main theater where we hope you come and see the shows in the evening. And just I just said, some fascinating topics. I look forward to hearing and seeing those, and we invite you to come out as well and share some of our celebrity life with you. So from Equinox,
we'll see you later on today.
Please go.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, the reason I ever went here in the first place, I didn't know much about it, and this was in October 2001. So think about that, October 2001. Not many people were flying, and believe it or not, I had to go down there and work. And you're probably thinking, likely story. But I did, and for one of the banks down there, to work with the cable and wireless company at the time. And after I finished work, I decided to walk along the beach in Grace Bay, and I was so amazed at this beautiful piece of sand and the crystal clear turquoise waters. I think, I've got to come back here. Absolutely, I was amazed by it. So I did, and but we're talking about 38 square miles here. That's not a lot of land. But if we focus on Grace Bay, that's what we're going to do here, then you'll see how beautiful it is, in my humble opinion. But I'm going to back that up in a minute, okay? So, quick facts. It's English, US dollar, and it's on the Eastern time zone. But look at the climate. It's sunny all year round. In the hot months, humid months, you do get, which is July, August time, you get the afternoon rainstorm there, but it just goes away. But you're almost guaranteed decent weather any time of year you go there. Its popular months are January through April, and that's because everyone who lives up north gets so tired of the cold winters, and they got to go somewhere warm and pleasant with beautiful beaches. So that's why they go down there. Technically, it's in the Atlantic Ocean. Well, they even said it's the Caribbean, but really, technically, it's in the Atlantic Ocean. Economy, tourism is it, but it's not overburdened with tourism. That's the beauty of it. Real estate, financial, seafood exportation, some of the basics which keep the island going, but mainly it's tourism and real estate development. It's a British Crown colony today. What that really means is it part of the British Empire? Well, sort of. I guess what it really means, if the Turks and Caicos gets out of hand a little, the Brits are going to come in there and say, hey, wait a minute, don't do that, we're taking it back, right? It's protected by the British Crown colony. I'm not sure if the British taxpayers have to pay for the welfare of the islands. I don't know. Probably they don't know that. It doesn't matter. Healthcare is good. It's got 2 medical centres now, but they're managed by InterHealth of Canada. And I know it's good because I landed in hospital one night. I ate some bad fish. Okay. It happens. I'm not blaming the islands for that. So I got a bit of food poisoning, but the facilities are really good there. So that's usually a bit of a concern for a lot of us when we go away. Think, well, is the food okay? What happens if I'm sick? No worries at all. Now, is it easy to get to? Yeah. So these, if you look at the main cities here, I just singled out a few here. There's direct flights from these airports. It's very close. So I live in Destin, Florida. You know where Destin is? Yeah, we're on the coast there. And in Destin, we have a beautiful beach also. And so I would go from actually Fort Walton Airport up to Atlanta and fly direct to the Turks and Caicos Islands. Okay, by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I am there on the beach. It's very close. Okay, so those are the main airports in the US to get to the Turks and Caicos Islands, and these are some of the airlines that fly there. So it's actually quite easy. It's not a million miles away. Time zone, jet lag is not an issue. A bit of history here. Initially inhabited by the Lucayan Indians around about 750 AD. Now, I don't know where this information comes from. Actually, it's Wikipedia, so let's assume they're right here. I don't know how they track this stuff back so many years. But when Columbus came, they sort of disappeared. Now, that area is a bit fuzzy, so no one knows really what happens there. So I don't know. Salt, there's actually a salt quay on the islands, but salt exportation was a big thing there. So salt is important to countries and people's lives. So they traded it for fruit and veggies, and particularly to the Europeans and people from Bermuda as well. So that was the industry for a long time there. Animals, well, there's no nasty little critters there, nothing venomous on the island. Reportedly, there was at one time a couple of crocodiles hanging around there, but nothing, intimidating. And the only things you'll see down there are little geckos and little crabs. Okay, it's nothing. So nothing to be worried about there. Now, naming of the islands, this is up for debate here. Now, what were they named after? Well, Turks and Caicos, so that insinuates there's 2 things here. So there is something down there called the Turk's Head cactus. That's a picture of it over there. It's not really a delightfully looking plant, but so that's one of the things. Or there is a rumor that it was named after these pirates that roamed the Mediterranean. Okay, and for some reason they call them Turks. Okay, so that's a possibility. One thing is the Caicos is named after Keahiko, which means string of islands. All right, so if you put those 2 together, Turks and Caicos, what it's supposed to mean is, hey, avoid the pirate islands. They didn't want any visitors way back when, so that's why they named it Turks and Caicos. Seems like the right story is about the pirates. Anyway, probably still up for debate. However, there's a third possibility. It could be named after the Turk's Head Beer Company. Okay, now, that may be the third theory which is in place today. I don't know. Oh, by the way, in Provo, the water's a bit too shallow for cruise ships, so cruise ships, I hear, go to Grand Turk, the other side. And I think they're dredging the area around Provo today, so I think it may be on the map for cruise ships to go there eventually. But going back to the Turk's Head theory here, let's have a look at the flag. Now, here's the national flag of Turks and Caicos Islands. Of course, it's got the Union Jack on the top left-hand corner. The British are trying to hang on to the British Empire here, so they always put their British flag on the top left. Now here, this little area here is a conch shell. That's a picture of a lobster, and that's a picture of the Turk's Head cactus. Now, just imagine that if the Turk's Head beer actually came into place, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Turk's Head beer, that's sort of part of the name of our country, then the flag would look something like this. Recent awards, TripAdvisor 2015, #1 island in the world, Providenciales. And that one on the right is just recent, a matter of a month or two ago. Grace Bay, according to TripAdvisor, is the #1 beach in the world. Okay, so that's a good thing. Remember, it's not that far away. Okay, daytime activities. Well, you know what? There's not a lot to do there. And it's not that's not a bad thing, right? This is not a party place. When I go there, I just like to chill out completely. Forget about, take a book on the beach, whatever. So, very little. It's all about chilling out. Walk, swim, sunbathe. Those are the three main activities I do. You don't have to do that, but you can walk for miles and miles. And it's such a beautiful water. I spend most of my time in the water. But you can go on an eco tour. You can go kayaking. You can go parasailing, paddleboarding. As I said, the water's very calm there. So it's quite a nice experience to do those things. Snorkeling and diving, a lot of opportunities there. Snorkeling, there's a place on Grace Bay where there's a coral reef outside, actually, the Coral Gardens Hotel. And you can walk off the beach into sand and snorkel around this coral reef. It's protected. You can't swim over it because there's fire coral there, but you can swim around and you'll see turtles and nice coloured fish around there just by snorkeling around there. Diving is big business there, as you can imagine. There's diving all over the Turks and Caicos Islands. We'll take a closer look at that in a minute. Rent a car for a day, absolutely. You can see the island in a day. Just rent a car, cost you $50. Rent a car, drive around. More details on that later on. Golf is there, fishing, horseback riding. And I'm not advising, if this is your first visit there, but maybe a later bit, visit the other islands like Grand Turk or Salt Cay or North Caicos. Okay? If you want to have that Robinson Crusoe feeling, that's a good idea. Hi there. I'm sorry? Windsurfing, yes. Can you do windsurfing? You can? That's an impossible sport. I don't know how people can do that. Yeah, no, people windsurf and kite surf there. Yeah, all in Grace Bay, and it's perfectly safe. Okay, and the water around Grace Bay is very shallow, by the way. Maybe get to 20 feet max. Evening entertainment is happy hour somewhere. So you go down there, there'll be a magazine in your room saying where happy hour is that day, and it's usually between 5 and 7 or something. You'll find a place, but there's restaurants, live music. When I say live music, it's not loud, it's someone playing an acoustic guitar or a little duo singing some reggae music. It's really laid back. Gambling, there is a casino. I went to it once, but when I was in there, I thought, why am I even in here? I'm supposed to be chilling out on the beach, not worried about losing or making money. You worry about winning money? No, losing money, that would be it. Sunset cruise, and then barbecue nights. There's stuff going on all the time. Now, walking, which is basically heading west, that's the view. And if I walk east, that's the view. Now, I'm going to use that as an example. If I keep walking east, now what I would do here is take a backpack with me. I'll take some water or maybe a sandwich for lunch, and I'll keep walking. I tell you, within 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, you'll be past all the resorts, and you'll be here. You'll be the only one there. Because it's not overcrowded. That's the beauty of this island. Even now, it's become more and more popular. It's not overcrowded. So with that walk, you can get in this area. There's a few rocks here. Okay, but not in the main part of Grace Bay. So you can sit down, go in the water whenever you want. It's real shallow, and hang out down there. Key is, if you're going to do that, make sure you're back before dark. Okay, because you might get lost, of course, obvious. But yeah, I mean, that's a beautiful walk. Yeah, I do that every time I'm there. Horseback riding. This picture is taken actually on Long Bay, which is south of the island. One time the horses used to walk along Grace Bay. I'm not sure if they're allowed to do it now, obvious reasons. But why go on a horse if you can walk, if you know what I mean? Sailing and sunset cruise. Sail Provo is a catamaran that sails every night there. You can go during the day, but in the evening it sails through Grace Bay, and they do a nice evening of sunset and give snacks away and cocktails. It's really relaxing here. Kayaking is there, parasailing. There's about 3 or 4 companies do parasailing there. I've never done that. Probably have difficulty in understand why you want to be 100 feet above the water when you can actually be in the water. I don't know. But I imagine the view is pretty good. And of course, the lady over there mentioned windsurfing, kite surfing, all that you can do there without a problem. Here we go. This is the things you see below the water. Little seahorse there wrapped himself around a piece of coral. How cute is that? Mind his own business. And you occasionally see these guys in grey suits swimming around, minding their own business. It just looks beautiful and peaceful, doesn't it? He's just swimming around there. I don't know what he's doing, like a Sunday afternoon swim, and he's going off into the abyss there. This was taken the last time I was down in the islands last year. I wear a GoPro camera for this. And this is an old shipwreck. Plenty of reef sharks, yeah. And this is an old shipwreck, or part of it. I'm not sure exactly what, but it's inhabited by yellow snapper. And see a few of these as well. It's a little ray swimming down at the bottom there. Okay. And we'll show you one more clip of diving. Do any of you do scuba diving, by the way? You do? You obviously do it down in the islands, right? I'm curious, who do you do the diving with? Oh, really? I've never done one of those. Is it good? Yeah. No, I go to a company called Dive Provo when I'm there, which is really good. Lobster. And these things are massive. Don't intimidate them when you're down in the water. Lionfish, you see these down there. They are venomous, but unfortunately have creeped into Florida now. Another ray. And you're thinking, what on earth is that? That fish is swimming vertically. It's a cowfish. Okay, so it's a variety of life. The visibility in the water is about 100 feet, and there's various dive spots there. But like you've experienced diving there, it's good visibility. Occasionally it's a bit murky, but generally speaking, it's good there.